Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. We're going to continue on with these little movie segment videos in where I take the news from this past week that was not big enough to warrant its own video, but was definitely something I wanted to talk about. Still don't have a name for this type of segment. I'm leaning towards the name Side Flick, because I've always wanted a side chick, but in this day and age, I can't afford to be canceled as a YouTuber. Some of the topics we'll dive into is Jim Carrey talking about Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Paul Walker returning for Fast and Furious 9, and Anaconda Reboot, that popular horror movie, some more live-action Disney remakes, that and so much more, guys, so be sure you're hitting that like button. That's all I ask. I don't have a Patreon, I don't have a Vimeo account, not even a premium Snapchat. All you have to do to support is hit that like button. It helps out. And don't forget to comment down below which of these was your favorite topic. So we're going to start off with the one I really turned my head to, that everyone is missing the main headline in this story. So Jim Carrey right now is obviously doing press for Sonic the Hedgehog the movie. Since the movie's gearing up and is almost out in a couple of weeks, of course he's going around and doing interviews promoting the movie. In this particular interview, he was asked if he would return to do a sequel to The Mask. Now if you don't know, Jim Carrey's the type of person who doesn't enjoy doing sequels to movies, especially after the second Ace Ventura kind of burned him. He'll only really do it if he's passionate about the project, like Dumb and Dumber 2. Unfortunately, that didn't work out as well as he had hoped. So specifically, this is what he had to say about it. I don't think in terms of sequels and stuff like that. I mean, this one, Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, is kind of right for it, because we have not evolved the character of Dr. Eggman fully yet. The Mask, I think myself, it would depend on a filmmaker. It depends on a filmmaker, really. I don't want to just do it, but I would only do it if it for sure was some crazy visionary filmmaker. Sure. Alright, really cool that Jim Carrey would be up for a sequel to The Mask as long as the right director came his way, but pump up the brakes here, because he was clearly emphasizing his viewpoint on doing sequels and how much he's not really for them, but he catches himself and says this specific part, I mean this one, Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, is kind of right for it, because we have not evolved the character of Dr. Eggman fully yet. That lets me know Jim Carrey has been having conversations with Paramount about returning as Dr. Eggman for Sonic the Hedgehog the movie 2, because he has it in his mind that he would be willing to return since the character of Eggman has not been fully fleshed out. And also, if you're willing to return for this sequel, are you really going to start telling in interviews, I don't do sequels? Oh wait, I might do one for Sonic the Hedgehog. You know what? For Sonic I would, but other things, I don't know. This is also kind of sad news because it definitely means that little teaser that we get in the Sonic the Hedgehog the movie where he's gone full Robotnik, bald hair, crazy mustache, and glasses, that is most likely just for a few seconds and a tease for what is to come in a following movie if we get that. All that's left now is for fans to show up for Sonic the Hedgehog the movie opening weekend, make it earn crazy amounts of dollars, and we'll get Jim Carrey back as Dr. Robotnik. What do you guys think of Jim Carrey returning for Sonic the Hedgehog 2? One of the next stories on here is one that I just can't believe is actually happening. So of course we're getting Fast and Furious 9, and you know what? Call me crazy, call me wild. I'm a big fan of the Fast and Furious franchise. It's just such a guilty, fun pleasure franchise that never fails to entertain me. The over-the-top action, the comedy in the movie, some big stars thrown in there. And ever since Fast 5, they have just been consistently entertaining, which, can you blame me for enjoying it? Well, this one's definitely going to cause up some controversy because not only are we getting the Fast and Furious 9 trailer January 31st at the end of this month at a concert, it's also said to be a tribute trailer, so it'll also be showing you footage from all the previous Fast and Furious movies and then some new footage of this new Fast and Furious movie. But if you haven't heard yet, they do plan to bring Paul Walker, yep, that's right, bringing him from the grave in Fast and Furious 9. I know a lot of you out there are like, how can they possibly do this? That's not right. Well, I really feared this was going to happen, especially when they brought Paul Walker's wife in the movies back into the mix. Dominic Toretto's sister, to be exact, she's going to have a leading role in this movie once again. And they've even had Paul Walker's brother on set of Fast and Furious 9, who, if you remember, when Paul Walker passed away, he was the person doing the stand-in work for Paul Walker while they CGI'd on his face. Looks like they're going to be doing the exact same thing here, and Paul Walker's family, who owns the rights to his image and likeness in movies, is pretty friendly with Vin Diesel, and I'm sure are not hesitating to get some of that Fast and Furious money. They have no problem agreeing to Paul Walker showing up in this movie. Now, this could go one of two ways, man. I don't believe Paul Walker is going to have such a huge role in the film. He's not going to be in every other scene and be as prominent as he was when he was alive in the franchise. If you've been following the Fast and Furious news like I have, I understand if you haven't, because You're not insane. Vin Diesel has teased some locations of the movie that are reminiscent of scenes from the very first Fast and Furious movie, that it leads me to believe that it's actually going to be all flashback scenes and not nothing new with the character. Which I guess, okay, fine, you're still technically bringing in Paul Walker, maybe even CGIing his face in there, even though it's in flashbacks when you've already said goodbye to him in Fast and Furious 7. I'm still really iffy on it, and I can't wait to see if this trailer hints at his arrival or if it's just going to be a big surprise in the movie, because I bet after hearing some backlash online they might have changed their minds and removed some of those Paul Walker scenes. I definitely want to hear your guys' opinion on this. Now into some horror movie news. Anaconda, the famous horror movie, or at least a guilty pleasure in my book, starring Jennifer Lopez and Ice Cube, where they go on an adventure and meet a giant anaconda, is getting rebooted. Now, like I said, I completely understand if you're not a fan of this movie, if you hate it, if you think it sucks. I saw it at a young age. I had a lot of fun with it. Snakes are scary as hell to me. Plus, J-Lo and Ice Cube aren't bad casting in my opinion. I really like those two. But Sony is planning to reboot the series with the screenwriters of Snow White and the Huntsman, which, yeah, that doesn't scream good news to me. And the other part in this story that makes me heartbroken for this franchise is they want to take a Meg-style approach to the Anaconda franchise. Meg is that shark movie that we got with Jason Statham just a while back. Some could argue that Meg is the Anaconda of this generation. Maybe us more mature people will hate it, but kids who will watch that will probably fall in love with it and admire it for years to come. I think that's the completely wrong approach to take. Did you guys not see the movie Crawl? They managed to turn a movie about a woman versus an alligator, crocodile, whatever you want to call it, and have it completely terrifying, intense, and suspenseful. I'm not going to lose hope for this reboot just yet. Maybe they can pull it off, but I just did not completely enjoy the Meg style of a shark movie because that's more action-filled than a horror movie, and I really want Anaconda to stay as a horror franchise. But if not, get Ice Cube or J-Lo to cameo in there. I'd like that. Let me know what you guys think of Anaconda being rebooted in a Meg-style fashion. In some quickie Disney live-action remake news, yep, we got 2 announcements for 2 upcoming Disney live-action remakes that they coming after all our childhoods, y'all. I joke around, but I actually don't mind these live-action remakes. I actually enjoy most of them. There's only about a handful that I didn't completely wound up liking in the theater. But the one that we just got announced today is Bambi is getting the live-action treatment. And look, nothing against the movie Bambi. It's a cute, well, I guess not really fun, mother dies, but it's an entertaining movie or heartfelt film if you want to call it that. But did Disney not learn anything from the Lion King live-action remake? You just can't take an all-animal cast and make it into a live-action remake because I just don't think it works out the way you think it does. They're planning to use the same animation style they did for the live-action Lion King and the live-action Jungle Book movie. And those are 2 examples right there of one that works and one that doesn't. Lion King, all animal cast, really did not feel all that different from the cartoon version. I just could not connect with it, and those emotions on those animals were not coming through for me. The movie Jungle Book, however, had a human character who was the lead and was able to carry that film. I think that worked really well. I wouldn't be surprised if this live-action Bambi movie throws in a human character just to kind of give it that perfect mix, but we'll see how it turns out. Jumping off from that one, we also got confirmation of the Pinocchio live-action remake. I like Pinocchio growing up, who doesn't? And that one I think can serve as a great live-action remake. I just picture the visuals of Pinocchio and Geppetto getting stuck inside a whale, just how mesmerizing that could look on screen, or some of the terrifying transformations of Pinocchio turning into a donkey. That was straight up nightmares as a kid. And they actually do have a director, and this movie is going to start shooting by the end of this year. They have Robert Zemeckis, who did the Back to the Future movie, so I have faith that this could work out. Conversations right now are leaning towards either Tom Hanks or Robert Downey Jr. as playing Geppetto. Either one of these actors I think is perfectly suited to play that role. My mind leads a little more towards Tom Hanks just because I think he can do anything, but Disney has a well-known relationship with Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Who knows if that box office bomb, though, of Dolittle will kind of stray them away from him. What do you guys think of these 2 live-action Disney remakes, and which one would you prefer to see? But those are just some of the stories throughout the week that interested me that I wanted to talk about with you guys. Like I said, go ahead and leave your opinions down below on which topic you enjoyed, which one you didn't. And don't forget to hit that like button if you're enjoying these little movie segment videos. You guys can follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.